Good evening and many thanks for joining us. This is the 20th day of May, the year 2025. Indeed, it's that day that a lot has really happened from the world of politics, from the deportation of Kenyans, of course, and of course now Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya actually has walked again, and a lot of many activities going on around the country and of course across the borders. And tonight in State of the Nation, we want to take a look, or rather focus on the State of Africa relation. And let me bring you closer to Article 104 of the East African Community Treaty that underscores the need to promote the freedom, or rather the free of movement of people, labor and services among member states without restriction and non-discrimination. So let's focus on the non-discrimination part of it, because this is where it actually touches a lot, or rather involve or concerns Kenyans, given the fact that Martha Karua, Lynn Ngugi, and of course former Chief Justice William Mutunga, alongside others who are detained and deported. And this is what has really sparked a lot of conversation in regard to this, the non-discrimination aspect of it, which under this clause 100 and Article 104 of the East Africa Community Charter, that discloses that citizens of other partner states are not to be discriminated against based on their nationality. This includes allowing visa-free entry, free movement within the territory, and the right to stay and the right to exit without restrictions. Restrictions of free movement of East Africa's member state, and the member state that can't deny, of course, the freedom and movement of people. So let's talk about some of the restrictions under this treaty and the circumstances under what one might be denied the free movement and entry from one country to another among the member states of the East Africa under this treaty that was signed in the year 1999 and actually put into action in the year 2000, that is in late July. Now, one might be denied entry into member states under the following circumstances. One is under security concerns, like in cases of fraudulent travelers, terrorists, smugglers, and human traffickers. Number two, if the host country feels that there is health concerns. In this case, it can be prevented due to reasons such as to prevent the spread or an outbreak of epidemic, like in case of COVID-19 that witnessed in the onset of the year 2020 all the way to the 2021. Other reason why one might be restricted the freedom of free movement of people, labor under this treaty is that if there is a political will and tension, this is where there is a weak governance over borders that can hinder the implementation of free movement. It is important to note that before detention and deportation of members, as we witness, the member state should notify the individual and the home country of the reason behind the detention and deportation. Now, the big question is, did Tanzania actually notify Kenya of the reason behind the deportation of activists who are really going to Tanzania to actually either to be part of the trials that the opposition leader, that the Tanzanian opposition leader Tundu Lissu's case where he is charged with treason. Whether that happened is a question of just to wait and see what will actually transpire, because even as we wait official communication from the Kenyan authority, but what we do know is that Kenyans activists were actually detained and deported back to the country in regard to what transpired in Tanzania. And this has been part of the discussion, the ongoing debate that has really sparked a lot of discussion and controversy in regard to the whole conundrum between the activists from Kenya and of course Tanzanian authority. Remember, the Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan gave out a very stern warning against these activists that he called are, in his term, rogue, and he will not, rather she will not allow what he called like activists who want to meddle into the internal affairs of Tanzania. And that will be forming the basis of our discussion tonight in the State of the Nation.